So ever since I became a musician, I've had a serious case of gas, that is gear acquisition syndrome. It's even been so bad to the point that I've let my gas keep me from taking on certain tasks or trying to write certain songs or take on certain projects just because I thought I was like ill-equipped to handle said project. Basically, I just didn't think I had the gear necessary to take on the project. Today I find myself with 4 main guitars in my home studio. I do have a couple more in the closet, but I'm in the process of getting rid of those. I have 4 guitars out on the floor at any given moment, and that's actually a really big statement coming from me because just a few months ago in my last home studio, I had nearly 10 guitars in my possession. I own several guitars with the same pickup configurations. They had the same body styles, you know, they're made out of the same kind of wood, just your typical solid body guitar with AMGs. I had several of those, and I think whenever it comes to being as like productive in your home studio as possible, you kind of need to try to trim the fat around some of the stuff that you're doing. So whenever you're trying to slim down your home studio, you really don't need a ton of the same guitar sitting around. Just, you know, whether that be just for space in general or for giving yourself roadblocks to creativity. Each of the guitars I'm going to go over in this video do something different that none of the other guitars do. So I mean, they all have kind of their own thing. I've made several videos in the past talking about gas and talking about all the guitars I have and just having too many of the same guitar basically. Well, I found myself finally in a position where I feel like the guitars that I have out on the floor that I'm grabbing, they all do a different thing. So for the first time, I feel like I'm actually covering all of my bases, and I want to share with you guys in this video kind of what I think that looks like and why I've intentionally picked these 4 guitars. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do smash that like button. Also hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me in the future. Let's go and get started. So the first guitar that I want to talk about today is my Eastman T386 with the Lambertone Crema humbucker pickups. This guitar has a maple neck with an ebony fretboard. It has 22 medium jumbo frets. Like I said, Lambertone Crema humbucker pickups. These are the only things that are not stock on the whole guitar. The body is made out of like a maple laminate, but I think it looks really, really awesome. I really love the finish on this. I wasn't gonna have a 335 style guitar without getting some sort of sunburst finish, so I'm really satisfied with the way this sounds and the way this looks. The finish is all gloss. I think the previous owner must have tried to like sand down the back of the neck a little bit, which the back of the neck feels really good, but you can see some scrape marks on the back, which I'm not super pumped about. However, the guitar shines pretty much everywhere else, and like I said, it looks great. So let's talk a second about these Lambertone Crema pickups. These are really, really big in the praise and worship world, and I've just heard a lot of really good things about it. Whenever I bought this guitar, I was mainly looking for a new worship guitar rig. I was wanting a 335 guitar, right? And I saw this one on the Tone Junkie YouTube channel, which also talks a lot about the Lambertone Crema pickups. So I was browsing Reverb one day, saw this guy on there listed for like 900 bucks, and I think these guitars go new for like 1,000. Anyways, I saw this listed for 900 bucks with the Lambertone Cremas, and I was like, I gotta get it. So I picked up this guitar, and it's really, I love it. The fretboard seems to be rolled really well. The frets have been dressed. The guitar really just does the hollow body thing, you know what I mean? The hollow body guitar sound is a thing, and this guitar does it really, really well. Pretty much anytime I want just a huge rhythm sound, or if I want whatever lead line or riff I'm playing to sound like it's coming from a hollow body guitar, I will reach for this Eastman T386, and it hasn't failed me at all, and I love it. It sounds awesome. The next guitar I want to talk about is my Squier Jazzmaster. Obviously, as you can tell, it's not completely stock. Well, everything in it is stock, except for the pick guard. I wasn't a big fan of the gold pick guard, so I put this red tortoiseshell pick guard on there. I think it looks really nice. I like it. So the guitar is a basswood body with a maple neck and a Indian laurel fretboard. It has like a gloss, satin gloss finish on the back of the neck, and it plays really, really well. And I really just, in regard to the neck, I can really tell that Squier put a lot of, I don't know, I mean, they allotted some resources to putting some effort into making this fretboard and this neck feel really, really good. It feels almost as good as far as like fret ends goes as my Eastman T386, which is a significantly more expensive guitar. I do prefer the shape of this neck. It's very similar to that one, but maybe just a little thinner. it seems like. It has 2 single coil Jazzmaster pickups. That's what the specs on Fender's website says. There's kind of some speculation if they're actually P90s or if they're the Jazzmaster pickups. What I read did say that they are the Jazzmaster pickups, but I've been told that they are wound and voiced to sound more like P90s, and I can totally tell. I really get that. Whenever I grab this guitar, it's almost always about the glassy cleans. You know, I throw any kind of like clean amp in front of this thing, it just sounds great. I love the way that sounds. And then any kind of like lead lines, they also carry that glassy quality with them that you get from these P90 pickups. And I just think it sounds great. So I will go for this anytime I'm wanting to do some kind of really cool like clean part or any kind of like clean lead line, or maybe even, you know, maybe an overdriven lead line. It handles overdrive, specifically the King of Tone emulation and the Helix. I'll throw that in front of an amp and do some like big chords with this, and it handles it really well. But most of the time if I have this guitar, I'm trying to sometimes even do like the Stratty thing, like this neck pickup. It sounds like a really fat Strat. I know people have heard that a lot with Jazzmaster guitars. Whenever I pick up this guitar, I'm usually playing some kind of John Mayer thing, just kind of subconsciously. I'll start playing some kind of John Mayer song because it just does that thing really well. This is a guitar that I've most recently acquired, and yeah, I mean, it does a thing that the other guitars I'm talking about don't do, and it's going to stay in the arsenal for a while. So the next guitar I want to talk about is my Parts Telecaster. It originally started as a Squier Affinity Telecaster, so it has pretty much everything's the same except for the pickups, and I repainted the guitar, and I've sanded the neck, and I've just done some work to the neck and stuff. So this is a poplar body with a maple neck, and then it also has like a satin gloss finish, which I have sanded off. It's completely satin now. This is probably one of my like favorite feeling necks out of the whole bunch, just as far as the back of the neck goes. And as far as the pickups go, I changed the stock Squier pickups to these pickups from a company in Europe called Tone Rider. These are their TRT-1s, and that is kind of their vintage voice Telecaster pickups. The paint job, it was originally like a royal blue color with stickers on it. My friend gave it to me, and I stripped the body and I painted it this coral color from Guitar Rearrange. Guitar Rearrange is a company in Texas that sells nitrocellulose lacquer for guitars, and this was actually the second guitar that I ever repainted, and kind of the first one I took some time on. However, I still did not know exactly what I was doing. If you look around the guitar, you'll see that it's already started wearing and chipping in some places, which I think is kind of cool. This guitar has a little bit of character just from me kind of like painting it incorrectly, technically. It's kind of, for all intents and purposes, it's kind of like the guitar that I practice doing work on. This is the first guitar that I rolled the fretboard and like filed down fret edges and stuff. It's the first guitar that I successfully rewired and put new pickups in by myself. So this guitar kind of just has some sentimental value in that, but I think it also sounds really, really great. It does the Telecaster thing that, you know, it's not a sound that you're going to get from any other guitar. I mean, also this bridge pickup, if you throw a big overdrive on it, it handles chords really, really well. So I really do love this Partscaster Telecaster that I made just a little over a year ago now. And the final guitar I want to talk about is this ESP LTD KS7 7-string guitar. KS stands for Ken Susi. It is his first signature model with ESP, and this guitar is obviously 7 strings, so it obviously does something that the rest of the guitars don't do. And whenever I was writing metal music, I just never saw myself reaching for the 6-string guitar. I was always grabbing my 7-string guitar. And you know, I'm not writing as much metal music nowadays as I used to, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I had 2 7-strings and I only really needed 1. And this guitar has a ton of sentimental value to me. One of my favorite metal bands is a band called Fit for a King from Texas, and their guitar player Bobby Ling opened his home a few years back for people to come take lessons in songwriting and like composition and recording, and I took him up on that. I've been to his home studio twice for metal guitar like writing lessons basically, and one time when I was there, he offered to sell me this guitar for an absolutely incredible deal. I'm not even gonna say what it was because it's so crazy. I'm never gonna get rid of it, you know, not to sound like a fanboy or anything. The guitar player from one of my favorite bands sold me this guitar, so I'm gonna keep it forever. It has an Evertune bridge, 7 strings, EMG pickups, 24 jumbo frets. It has a thin U-shaped neck. It has a maple veneer which looks really, really great. I think the finish is called Dark Brown Sunburst, which I think fits it pretty well. It does have some, there's some flaws to it at the moment. It needs to go see a luthier somewhere. The lowest and the highest parts of the Evertune bridge don't work correctly. And there are some electrical issues. It's seen better days. There's even a crack on the back of it right here where Bobby smashed it during a show one time. This guitar has a lot of history with him, and it's going to continue to have a lot of history with me. And anytime I need to write a metal riff, this is the guitar I go for 100% of the time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed getting a look at some of the guitars that I use, or really the only guitars I ever use. Leave in the comments some of the guitars that you use, and if you think I'm missing any guitars to cover my bases in my collection. I think if anything, you can make a argument for a guitar with Filtertrons, or for like a straight up Stratocaster, maybe a Les Paul guitar. That solid body, like really heavy rhythm tone that you can get from Gibson Les Pauls. That is a sound all on its own. So I mean, there are some things that I'm missing, I guess, but for the most part, my bases are covered and I'm very satisfied. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed the video, please do smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.